Hello everyone. This is a video tutorial for your flat landscape. So people had some questions about turning things into brushes for your original flat landscape. So I thought I would do a quick video to help you out in class. Okay, so you can see I started this one and it's just very, very simple. I thought this would be a good one for me to use so I can show you how to add animals, people. I'll do the birds again, add grass, things like that. So anyway, let me hurry up and get started. So I'm just went into Google Images and I looked up, clip art for deer. So I'm going to use this picture here, and this deer actually, it looks like it's on a white background, but it's actually transparent. And then I went and just looked up hikers and I got this picture here. So I already have them in my Photoshop here. So I have them on my layers. So you'll have to put them in yourself. You know how to do that by now. And then you're going to cut it out of the background. So I'm going to turn everything off here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So first off, if your person animal is quite different than your background, it's going to be easy to cut it out. So all you have to do is go to your fourth tool down, your quick selection tool, click on that. And then up here you see select subject, click on select subject. Okay, so you can see that Photoshop is doing a pretty decent job. I just add a little bit. So remember, you guys have used the quick selection tool many times. You have a plus up here and a minus up here. So I'm in my plus brush. I'm going to extend out the fingers a little bit and make sure that all his fingers have been included, and then push out that rock. Okay, and then you're going to also see that I need to cut out the space between his legs and then in between his fingers. So now I'm going to go up and get the minus brush, and I'm going to make my brush super small and then just sort of push that in there here a little bit. And then also in here, I'm going to add a little bit more there. Oh gosh, that went a little too far. So come back and push that back out a little bit. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect for this project. When we actually use it later on in the year, we'll have to be like really concise. But for this one, the quick selection tool should be fine. Okay. Okay, so I could keep going back and forth, but I don't want to spend a lot of time for this video. Okay, so right now I have a selection on my person, right? And now remember, if we don't do this, it's going to have a weird edge. So we want to come up and go select, modify, and then we want to expand it by 1 pixel. So hit expand by 1 pixel, hit OK. Then come up here and select modify and feather. And feather by 1 would be good. And then, you know what, if for some reason your selection is grabbing the color outside, then you want to come and do contract. So maybe I could do contract by 1 just to make sure. Okay. In case you grab too, if it's expanded too much, then you're going to grab the white and you don't want any of that color on the outside. Okay, I think this should be good enough for now. So you have the marching ants on your selection, and then all you have to do is just do Command J, and that cuts it out and puts it on the layer above. Okay, and that's good enough for this. So now all I have to do is go ahead, Command Thumbnail. Okay, and then I'm just going to fill it in with black. So I have black as my foreground. I'm going to do Option Delete, fill it in with black, and Command D. Okay, and I probably could have spent a little bit more time on the hand, but for this video, I'm just going to just use it like this. Okay, and then I'm going to go Edit, and then I'm going to go Define Brush Preset, and I'm just going to call this, I don't know, just human for landscape. Okay, and then hit OK. So now you can see that if I shrink there it goes. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna delete that layer. We don't need that one anymore. And then I'm going to come here, turn all this on. Okay, I want to get that deer there. Okay, let me turn that off for now. Okay, let me just command minus. Okay, so now I'm going to go make a new selection, a new layer, sorry, and I'm going to just put it on this green layer here, okay? So I'm going to take my eyedropper, select my bottom green layer, and then I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to make it bigger because remember this is like in the front, so this guy is going to be quite big because he is in the foreground. So let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. I'll just leave it like that because I have to hurry because of the video. Okay, so there he is. Now I'm going to go up and do the same thing. Do the same thing with my deer. Okay, so I'm going to turn all this off, and then my deer here, so it's already cut out. So it was on a white background, but it must have been a transparent background. So when I brought in the picture of the deer, it was just like this. So I don't need to cut it out. Okay. All I have to do really is just do a quick selection, and I don't even really have to even turn it into a brush. I could turn it into a brush, but I also could do this. So let me put everything back on again. So I could just say, okay, the deer is fine. I'm going to shrink him, Command T, and then shrink him down. And then he's going to need to, let's see, how big do I want him? I don't know. With the person, if I put him here like that, is that too small? I'm not sure. Gosh, I have no idea. I'm not sure. I don't know about my scale. Maybe my scale's off for this. Anyway, I'm just guessing. Okay, so then enter or check mark. And all I want to do now is just do Command Thumbnail. Select it. I'm going to come up here, select, modify. Let's see. I think I'll just leave it like that. I'm going to do feather. Maybe I'll do expand by 1, yes, and then make sure that my feather also is on there, feather by 1, okay? And then I'm going to get my eyedropper, select my bottom color, and you know what? Actually, I'll put him on this layer because I have one there, okay? So I will select this one here, and then I'll just fill it in and Option Delete, Command D. Okay, and I probably need to make him smaller because he's a little bit further back. So I'm just going to bring him down a little bit. Okay, and then do the check marker, enter, and now he matches this layer here. So remember, whatever you put on your layer, they need to match the layer. So I'm just going to take my person, move my person over here. Maybe my person needs to be a little bit bigger. Command T, make my person a little bit bigger. Like that. Okay, and then you can see I have a deer back here just to show you that you need to be careful with scaling things down. So that one probably even needs to go a little bit smaller. Command T. I'll bring him down a little bit more. Remember, the objects, when they go back, they get smaller, okay, and lighter in value. So now I'm going to put on my background sky to make it look better. Okay, so there I have that so far. Okay, and you can include buildings, you can include lots of things that you want to put in your landscape, okay? But that's sort of the idea. Remember, you don't want to just bring a photograph in. It has to be a flat, filled in person, building, animal, things like that. Okay, so now I want to show you, the next thing I want to show you is some people were asking about well, you know what? I want to do the tree. I'm going to do a tree. So I am going to actually come down here. Where's my deer? I'm going to bring him way over here. And let's see, I'm going to move my person over and my deer back over. And I'm going to put a tree in here because people forgot that you can actually use other trees. Okay, so we used a pine tree for our flat landscape, but then people forgot there was more trees in there. So I want to just come up here, go to filter. I'm going to turn everything off first. I'm going to turn all of this off. And don't forget, you can go filter and render and then tree. And then remember, we got a pine tree for our flat landscape, but then you have all of these other gorgeous trees. Okay. And since we already have our black and black, it's easy to do this. So just go ahead and find something that you like. Remember, you can do palm trees, all these different types of trees, depending on your background. Okay. I am going to get a cypress tree. So I'm just going to get this one here and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, there's my tree. I'm going to come up here and go edit and define brush preset. And I'm just going to call it tree 3, actually. Okay, and then hit OK. Okay, and then you can see my tree there. Okay, so that's working. Yes, it's working. Make sure if it's not working, check your opacity. I'm going to delete that layer, turn everything back on again, and make sure I get my sky. I'm trying to hurry. Let's see. Gotta put in. Okay, and now I'm just gonna actually make it the color as right down on the foreground. So I'm gonna get my eyedropper, select that color, get my brush, and I want to make sure that it matches. Like I need to make it actually bigger, right? Because my person's quite big. So I'm just going to, I have no idea how this is gonna look. Oh gosh, it looks sort of bad. Let me see. Maybe I could just shrink it down and just sort of put it over here. Maybe something like that. Not sure. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that, but for the video, you get the idea. Okay. And then also wanted to go over the birds again with you. So let me go ahead and do that because people had questions about the birds. So I'm going to turn everything off again one more time with the birds, make a new layer, turn everything off. When you go to your bird brush, I was going to add grass. So I'll do the birds and then I'll do the grass. So come up to your brushes and then you're going to get your birds. Okay. I'm going to make them big so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just hit my D and then make black my foreground. I'm just going to stamp my birds here. Oh gosh, you know what? Actually, that's the wrong one. I have to actually come up here. Let's see. I'm just going I already turned it into a brush, that's why. Okay, I'll just use this one, hit enter and make my brush nice and big. Okay, so here we go. There's the birds. I went ahead and stamped them. If I turn on my background, you can see that there's lots of values. We don't want that. So what do we have to do? I'm going to turn off this, go get my magic wand here, click on my background, come up, select inverse, and then I can fill it. And I don't really even have to come over here and do that. I could just fill it. So I could just do Option Delete and fill it like that. And then come up here, edit, define brush preset, and call it birds. Okay, hit OK. And now I have my birds. Okay, so that's how you do your birds. And let me turn that off and put everything back on again. see, what else am I missing? Okay, and oh, you know what? I realized that I put my tree on my deer. Oh well. Okay, so what was I doing? I was doing the birds. So let me go ahead and make a new layer. And I had these birds, make them teeny, teeny, tiny. Okay, and I could just put them really small, actually. Oh, you know what? They're black, aren't they? So I don't want that to be black. Maybe I might just actually take my eyedropper and not even get my darkest, maybe get that color. Oh gosh, there's my, okay, and now I can get my brush and then stamp them. So now they're lighter. So make sure that your birds are not lighter than your, I mean, not darker than your bottom color. You don't want them to be darker than your bottom color. Okay, so I have birds there. I could actually make them bigger, right? And I could do that. And then I could take my eraser and just erase like that one there. So now I got those 3 birds like that. Okay, and then grass. So people were wanting to do grass too. So I'm just going to do this super fast. Remember at the very, very, very beginning of the year, we were making that brush encyclopedia, and you guys discovered that we had grass because you guys actually used it for one of your lines that you were making. So let's go up here. I think, which folder is it in? It's in this folder here. In your, well, is it your faux finishing? Let's see. No. Thought I had it ready. Let's see. Okay, it's under, which folder is this? So the default brushes. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and under the stars, I already go past. There's the dune grass and the grass. So I'm just going to get the grass here and hit enter. And I wanted to show you something. I noticed that I had my green as my foreground and white as my background. And I started putting my, so I went to my layer where this is right here, and I'm going to make a new layer on top of it. And I started putting grass. I'm like, why is this white? I have no idea why it was white. And then I realized, I wonder if it's picking up this background color. So let me go ahead and undo that. And then if I make my background color green, then let me show you now. So now I have, oh, actually, let me make the foreground color green too, this green too. Okay, so now I have my foreground and my background the same color green. So now if I take my brush and I just sort of brush that in, it's the same color. Okay, so you can add grass to your landscaping as well. Now, when you guys remember, you're going to be doing the grass the same way. Oh gosh, that's way too big. But remember, the grass in the foreground is going to be bigger than the grass in the background. So the grass gives it a nice, nice texture. I really like putting the grass in there too. Okay, so I think that is enough for now. And then remember, you can always put in a gradient sky with a radial, or you could do a cool sun or moon. You can exaggerate the sun or moon. You can do your star effect and bring in your stars, your rays, I guess. And, just remember to follow the rules of aerial perspective, where your objects in the foreground are darker and bigger than the objects in the background. You also can put a Gaussian blur on some of your background pictures as well to fade them a little bit more. Okay, but this should help you. I hope this helps. And that's all for now. So just make sure you export it correctly and put it in the right assignment. And I'm done. So thanks. Okay, bye.